Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and it's been a while. I haven't posted in the last few days. I've been busy moving. We're still moving as we speak, but I felt like I needed to make a quick video, and here we are. So this is my retrospective on the craziest set that I have ever played in the last 5 to 6 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! That being Power the Elements. This set was absolutely stupid, and I kind of just want to gush over it for 5 minutes, so bear with me. So, first things first, this set changed everything. Not only did we get 2 tier 1 broken decks out the bat, but we got a whole bunch of amazing broken support that pushed other archetypes introduced in previous sets over the edge. But then we also got really cool TCG exclusives, really cool just generic one-of cards. Just this set was absolutely stupid. So I feel like not to give it any justice on this channel, I gotta make a video on it. Here we are. So let's just get started. The big elephant in the room, Tier Elements and Sprite. These two archetypes came off the bat swinging, and they haven't really stopped since. Sprite is still a tier 1 to the second best deck in the format, and Tier Elements is a really powerful tier 2 deck that they had to nerf like 12 times to make sure it stayed down. And it's still a really powerful rogue deck this format. You can still run into tier element players at your locals, and they will still be taking names. I'm talking to one of my friends right now because he plays tier element Runic, and that deck is absolutely horrifying. But anyway, let's keep going. So yeah, Sprite came out and tier elements came out. Tier elements didn't become tier 0 too much later, and Sprites didn't really get spread or the other generic cards that make them great, like Double Cross. But Sprite off the bat already had all the main pieces they needed. They had every main deck monster they needed. They had blue, they had jet, they had red, they had all the really powerful starters like starter. They had elf, which is banned because this card's absolutely stupid, and of course they had their XYZ. Sprite was just the most generic splashable deck we've ever had, for the simple fact that if your deck played a level 2, you could splash Sprite into it. Didn't matter. You could only have one level 2 in your entire archetype. Didn't matter. You can now splash a whole Sprite engine because any level 2 plus another monster made you the XYZ or made you the Link 2, and then you just pop off to the races, man. It was so generic, so easy, that any deck that played level 2 was jamming Sprites into it to make them viable in the new format. And even to this day, we still have 6 versions running around. One of the versions also came out this set, which is Melfi's Sprite. Melfi's also got their new wave of support in the set, and the Melfi's were absolutely bonkers. Melfi Wally and all the other really powerful generic cards they got, including Penny and the Synchro Monster, definitely push Melfi into the meta. Now, have they ever been the best deck? No. But have they been in the meta category and have they topped? Yes. So I would definitely say Melfi Sprite and the Melfi cards definitely did well. But Sprite overall being a splashable engine for any level 2 strategy, for Runic in the future, for higher in the future, for even tier elements later on. Every deck that had a level 2 can play Sprite, and that's just so stupid. And the engine's so easy and so consistent and gets you so many interruptions. It was just the best deck, one of the best archetypes of all time. Now, let's talk about the other archetype in the room, Tier Elements. Now, I know Tier Elements wasn't the best deck right off the bat. Sprite was better for a few months, just due to the fact that people were still figuring out Tier Elements. The reason why was because Sprite was predicted to be the best deck, so a lot of people weren't really trying to play tier. There was a good amount. It was still a tier 1 deck, but people just thought Sprite was better. Until they realized, nope, we have the danger cards. And Casino tier came out, and then they pushed it over the edge of Sprite, and then the Seiju cards came out, and then Sprite was no longer a competitor. The tier elements became tier 0, and the rest is history. That deck is still absolutely stupid to this day, and we're still seeing results and impacts on the ban list because of tier elements. The fact that all the Ishizus are one, the fact that Fairy Tail Snow had to be rebanned, the fact that Chaos Ruler was banned, the fact that Orange Light was put to 1 and now it's back to 2. There's so many, Curious banned. There's so many cards that are just on the cuffs of being great. and then tier elements pushed them over the edge. It made cards that were already powerful broken. It made Curious from a generic Link 3 that was kind of difficult to make to literally an essential combo piece that ended on like either a turn skip or some BS board that you just couldn't beat. Either like you just lost. And the fact that it could dump Fairy Tail Snow was absolutely stupid. But that's going ahead of ourselves. We were talking about Power of the Elements. The hero elements off the bat got all their main players. They got Merly, they got Shirley, they got all the main ones. They got Rhinoheart, they got their field spell this set. They got their two most powerful trap cards. They literally did just get everything this set. Actually, I think they got 3 traps cards this set. Yeah, I think they got all 3 traps this set. Anyway, this deck had every tool it needed to be meta. All it needed was some tinkering and some people to actually playtest with it. And the deck went over the edge and completely warped our format forever. So Tier Elements and Sprite take our honorable mentions as the best things that ever happened to Yu-Gi-Oh! And the worst things that ever happened to Yu-Gi-Oh! At the same time. But let's keep going with Power of the Elements, because we have a lot of one-of support that completely broke archetypes. One-of support we gotta talk about is Mathmech Circular. Mathmech Circular came out this set, and it completely changed Cybers as we know it. It pushed Mathmech, which was not even a tier deck, into tier 1 playability as the 3rd best deck in the entire format. All Cybers decks became using Mathmech engines. Agnister used it. Salamangreys used it. Shit, even your mom used it. If anyone was playing Cybers, except Marincess, you were playing the Mathmech engine. The Mathmech engine was so easy to do, it was so versatile. It was just stupid. It pushed a strategy that no one was playing to literally the 3rd best deck in the entire format. And the only reason why it was the 3rd best deck in the format was because the 2 other archetypes they introduced in that set were the craziest 2 archetypes we've ever seen in the game's history. That's the only reason why Mathmech wasn't the best deck that format. Because they introduced Tier Elements and Sprite, which completely broke the game. Mathmech Circular, if that was it, if we didn't introduce those other 2 archetypes, Circular would have broke the game. And we would be talking about Circular as much as we'd be talking about the other 2 archetypes. But no, this set was absolutely so stupid that it made one of the most broken support cards we've ever seen in the game. Like, cool, it's the 3rd place best card. Like, ain't that crazy? This one support card pushed a rogue-ass deck to straight-up meta contention, and it's overshadowed by 2 new archetypes that power crept everything in the game. Now, don't get me wrong, this card definitely made Mathmech compete. It was definitely the 3rd strongest deck, but it wasn't the best deck, and it still had some issues, and it still had some tinkering to do after Power of the Elements. But yeah, Circular is absolutely stupid, and it is still playable to this day. Even though it's at 1, because that's how strong this card is. It's been put to 1. Circular and the Mathmech engine is still played in Code Talkers. It's still played in pure Mathmech, which is still viable. It might be a Roger deck, but it's still viable today. This set was absolutely stupid. Let's keep going. Another one we gotta talk about is Marfa, the Exo Sisters of the tier element format. Now, was it really the Exo Sisters of this format? No, I would argue Mathmech was. But Exo Sisters had a good contention. It was a really, really strong deck. And then they got a really broken card that completely put the deck together. And then people thought it was going to be the next Evil Swarms, right? We thought it was going to be the Dragon Rulers, the Evil Swarms, and all that. But it didn't. It didn't turn out that way. But Exo Sister with Marfa has still had multiple regional tops. Like, this deck may have not won a regional. It might have, I just don't know. But it has definitely topped multiple regionals and definitely pushed a deck that wasn't even considered playable to literally tier 1, tier 2 status, which is pretty much saying a lot. That just shows you the power level exploding for this archetype, pushing decks that no one was even playing to straight up viability. Another archetype I gotta talk about, of course, is the Punks, my favorite archetype. They got 2 busted cards this support. We got Dragon Drive, and we got the Field Spell for Punks in this set. Which is absolutely incredible when you think about it. Because, yes, we had Chaos Ruler at the time, and Chaos Ruler was still stupider than our rank 8, our Synchro 8 that we got, Dragon Drive. But once they banned that card and people actually started experimenting with Dragon Drive, we realized how stupid its support was. I mean, drawing 2 every turn off the field spell, the fact that the field spell allows you to just freely spam out a punk from hand, the fact that you can draw on your opponent's turn, the fact that Dragon Drive can search any psychic, including Ghost Ogre or Wheeler or Tracker from the deck. Absolutely stupid archetype. Stupid cards. And I'm so happy because one of the reasons I still love Punk to this day is the support we got from this set. So, Konami, keep it up. Where's Punk set 4? Please, let more support come in. Or Lily Skull Pride set 3. Anyway, let's keep going. I already talked about the Melfies, but we got some other archetypes we gotta discuss, okay? We definitely got to discuss the really powerful cards that also came out. Before I go, though, I do want to mention Goaty. Now, Goaty still hasn't had its best representation in the TCG. It's definitely still a rogue deck, but it's probably one of my favorite TCG exclusives of all time. I should still mention it. The Goaties are just so cool. They're such a cool mechanic. Fish that banners themselves. They synchro on your opponent's turn like Cristrons. They're just this cool mechanic, man. I don't know why Konami never made a third wave of them. Hey, Konami, get on that. But honestly, I feel like it would be a crime not to mention them in this in Power of the Elements set, because this archetype debuted in this set, and it had the potential for greatness. I mean, we didn't get the second wave until later, but this first wave was still pretty important for the archetype, and I definitely think going forward, it definitely helps a lot. Alright, so let's keep going. There is a couple more one-of support that I want to go over that completely broke decks. The Rika support came out this set, and it completely put Rika on the map. Now, Rika Sun Avalon was already a deck. It was already pretty solid, but this new Rika support pushed that deck over the edge. It definitely made plants as a whole way stronger. I wish more people experimented with the deck after this set. Like, don't get me wrong, once Kashtira format's going on, like right now, Tier Elements, not Tier Elements, what am I saying? Rika just topped the regional. Like, I think it literally just got first place, or it won a YCS or something. But anyway, plants as a whole need some love. And the biggest issue is they get crazy, stupid support, but no one wants to learn how to play them. So I think that Power of the Elements introducing these broken-ass Rika cards that tribute your opponent's monsters, like the Layer of Darkness, are absolutely insane. And a lot of people overlooked it at the time. But yeah, this is the set that introduced one of the most strong Rika cards to our game, which is kind of insane. Another archetype that people forget came out this set are the Verna Selves. The Verna Selves came out this set. I know they won't be meta until Darkwing Blast, but look, the Verna Selves came out this set and they completely changed the game. Like, once the Naturia cards came out and we got the second wave of Verna Selves, this deck has been off to the races. It has definitely taken some meta contention with the Runic cards, and Runic Naturia was a very powerful deck for a long time. I mean, the only reason why people stopped playing it is just due to the fact that the trap card got hit to 1, which just shows you the power level of the Verna Selves. And we haven't had a good Earth archetype since then. Like, yes, we have the Naturia, like, that came out, but what was the last Earth archetype that's come out for the Verna Selves to be abused in? Nothing so far. We didn't get anything for Photon Hypernova. We didn't really get anything for Cyberstorm Axis, and we didn't get anything for Wild Survivor, and we didn't get anything for Duelist Nexus. But who knows? All we need is one new Earth archetype to come out, and the Verna Selves will come right back into contention, man. Like, they're already still a very powerful engine in our current format. If you run into a Adamantipator Verna Self player, or you run into any Verna Self player, honestly, Naturia is still absolutely insane, even with the trap card put to 1. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people sleep on the Verna Selves as an engine when they got debuted in this set, and they're absolutely absurdly good. And the final support I want to mention this set, when it comes to like the individual one-ofs, before we talk about the generic cards, is we got the second wave of Scareclaw cards. We got the Link 1 bobblehead, my dude. I mean, it isn't much, but it made Scareclaw a Link, like, one-card engine now. Like, Scareclaw actually became playable because of this Link 1. And Scareclaw is still a really powerful Tier 2 deck to this day. and definitely see some play in Mana Dome builds right now. Like, it's not like full Scareclaw. It's definitely like a little engine, but you wouldn't have that. You would not have that engine if you didn't have this little bobblehead that came out this set. Like, even though these cards did not impact our format and impact Power of the Elements format when it came out, retrospectively looking back at them, these cards definitely shaped other formats. Like, the Rika cards didn't do much this format in Power of the Elements, but they're doing stuff right now. I think like Rika is probably like the third or fourth best deck this format, which is kind of saying something. And the funny thing is, it'd probably be one of the best decks, if not the best deck, if people knew how to play the deck. And this is me harping back on plants again. Like, people need to learn how to play plants. But look, Rika's insane. Everything in this set is insane. And let's just talk about the generic cards. We got Terrors of the Underroot that came out this set. A really, really powerful trap card that just completely changed trap decks. Like, hey, Labyrinth players, I see the generic card that completely broke your ass. This came out this set. Now, here's another card that no one plays. I still don't understand why. We have a better Solemn Strike in this set. Yeah, we have... Draco Utopic Aurora. Yeah, this came out this set, and no one plays it to this day, but I think it's just a sleeper, better Solemn Strike. Like, people still play Solemn Strike in, like, other builds of, like, Labyrinth and other decks, and yet this card, which doesn't pay life points, and it's just better Solemn Strike, doesn't see any play. I don't get it. That's just me. I think this card is absolutely insane for back row decks, especially ones that lose the monster interruptions. But no one plays this card, which is absolutely insane. But other generic cards we got in this set was the best Super Poly target of all time, Garuda, the Wings of Resident Life. This card is absolutely stupid. Tier Element players will abuse this card to the day it dies. The fact that when it's sent to graveyard by any means, including being fusioned off or just linked off, the draw you won is absolutely stupid. It's a great Nadir target off Nadir Servant. It's a great card in general, and it does so much. It's so many things. It's absolutely absurd, and it's the best Super Poly target in the game. So, yeah, Garuda came out this set. Divine Carnate came out this set. Love how Divine Carnate was completely overshadowed because it wasn't good against Sprite or Tier. And then people realized, oh shit, this card's absolutely insane against Kashtira and other strategies. It just wasn't good against the two best decks that came out of this format because they really did shape the game. But look at it now. Kashtira, what's it called? The Divine Carnate card is like $40 a copy right now. This card used to be $10. Like, this, it's absolutely absurd how powerful these cards are. And it just came out of a set and they were overshadowed because the other cards in the set were just overshadowed them. It's absolutely crazy. It really, really is. I think that's all the cards I can mention. I mentioned Divine Carnate, I mentioned Garuda, I mentioned Terrors of the Underroot. I bet there's other generic cards that I'm just missing. I mentioned the TCG exclusive, that was Goaty. I mentioned the Verna Selfs, which are amazing. Of course, our 1-0 support for Exo Sisters, Rika, Scareclaw, Punks, Math Mech, all those cards are insane. Both Sprite and Tier Elements will always be remembered as the two strongest decks of all time when they came out. Literally, our new spell books and our new Dragon Rulers, respectively. And yeah, that's really about it. I really hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid, and I'll see you on the next one. I'll be posting more videos. I'm just finishing up the move. We just got all this stuff upstairs. So now we just got to unpack everything in the house, which shouldn't be too hard, and I should be able to make some more videos. And hey, if we get to 700 subscribers within, the next week or so, I'll definitely post a video about my collection. I have over 200 and something decks. I would love to show them all with you guys. Anyway, hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.